Back in for the Sounds of Healing Strange Fruit release party from Love Locks and also with Haya Healing. This is a community healing immersion event, and then just here shortly we will get to hear the sophomore project from the Love Locks. So, introduce yourself to the people. What's your
My,
name? What do you do? And
my name is Charles Chale Averitt. I have a group called Five Rivers Drum Ensemble.
okay,
We play in support of foundations and community organizations, and we also play a number of the festivals around, like Dayton Porch Fest, Troy
okay.
Fest, that kind of thing. And we're fortunate to be called upon by Love Locks to sit in with them when they're doing things like this.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, um, is it a team of people then?
I have Five Rivers. We play what I think of as fusion drumming.
Uh
It's not
huh.
African drumming, but there are elements of African drumming, Native American drumming, and urban drumming. Kind of push that together and squeeze a little bit. We add a little hip hop flavor to it, a little jazz
Yeah.
undertone, a little funk undertone, and it comes out differently every time we play because I don't put my guys in a box. I leave a lot of room for them to explore around, play with the sound.
Wonderful. So it sounds very spiritual.
All drumming is
And
spiritual to me. Yeah, in fact, I'm thinking of drumming as folk music now too. Uh,
well, what music? I'm sure there is some, but uh, most music, drumming is that bass line that starts it. Like even when we're recording in the studio, we throw on a click track, and then everything builds around that. So drumming is at the heart
yeah,
of
there's a
music.
sound that is almost universal, and you can pretty much go anywhere in the world if you're a drummer, a hand drummer, and you'll fit in somewhere. You don't have to know the people, you don't have to know the culture. You may not be playing like the African rhythm; they have names for some of their rhythms, but you'll find a place there, and they'll find you in that place. It's universal. And for instance, I'm going to Florida on the 9th, and I was able to send. I'm not taking my drums on the plane. Like I sent a message to because their drum circles were around. It's like I'm going to be in Florida for 7 days. Can't bring my drums. Can somebody direct me to where drummers are playing music? And do you have an extra drum? And somebody will. Somebody definitely will. So I've been reassessing my notion of what folk music is. Um, Folk music is music that people play. It's music that is handed from one generation to another generation, and it don't necessarily has to have an author to the music. And that's why I think drumming fits perfectly in because nobody knows where the rhythms come from, but everybody knows how to play those rhythms or can learn those rhythms, and they can keep it in past generations. And while I'm here, I'm going to plug. I have an opportunity to
Yes, please
do.
do.
I have an opportunity to do a radio show with WYSL.
Okay, great, great people.
Hopefully starting in January, but we're actually going to start taping in July. And the
Okay,
name of the show is Growing Up Folkways.
okay,
As part of, we'll be looking at Smithsonian Folkways recording artists and their catalog, interviewing those artists, and trying to get some higher level of peer-to-peer or what does young lady call it, shared experience to come out in that process. And I'm thinking of, I have a, strangely enough, born in Harlem, raised in the Bronx, but I grew up on folk music and bluegrass. And I worked for a company called Folkways Records for like pretty much the first part of my life. And I worked under the legendary Moash, who was the founder of Folkways, and the Smithsonian is carrying on his work. I happen to probably be one of the last, literally, one of the last living individuals who worked for Moash.
wow,
And I'm carrying that. It gives me an entree into the entire catalog of people who respect and revere the work that Folkways started to do. So I've got a couple of shows in mind. But part of what I plan on doing and growing up folkways on WYSO starting in January, starting taping in July. My first guest is a wonderful human being named Gary Green. Look him up. He's in what do you call it? IMDb. You find him. Wonderful. We have stories about about Bob Dylan, Phil Oakes, and an FBI raids on the on taking. It's just so much to share with an audience that probably wouldn't get that kind of insight from a normal interview, because it makes a difference when you have a shared experience with someone. It's like
History is so important.
if two musicians are talking to each other, they have a different quality to it, and two people who have some connectivity to folkways records will have a different experience with each other. So we're going to try and leverage that, and hopefully the first show, makes WYSO happy, and we get to do a few more. I'm looking at, but part of my curiosity is all over the place, and one of the things I want to do is examine what is folk music, like what makes a folk song. Is there, I know it's weird, but I'm raiding the Library of Congress catalog, and I'm looking at all the stuff from Alex Lomax. And then a lot of people listen to music and they have no idea that they're listening to some rendition of a folk song that's been modernized. So
Absolutely.
if you listen, there's a song I was listening to it in the folk version is Black Betty, Bam Lamb, Black Betty, Bam Lamb. Black Betty had a child, bam ba lam. Black Betty had a child, bam ba lam. Then if you hear the updated version, oh Black Betty and the bam lamb, oh Black Betty bam bam lamb. Black Betty had a child at a bam lamb. And if it's two totally different deliveries, but it's the same song,
It's an evolution.
which one is folk? Is it cease to be folk because you sing it a different way? I want to have that kind of discussion. And then if you can take a folk song just if you could take a folk song and turn it into something rock, can you do the converse? Can you take a rock song and turn it into something folk? Like that shouldn't. You better not steal my ideas if you're watching this. Can you take a song like, I see a black door, I see a red door, and I want to paint it black. I see a red door. Nobody. Can you go? I see a red door, I want to paint it black. I see a red door, I want to paint it black. I see a red door. I want to paint it black, paint it black, paint it black, paint it black. Because you can do the converse with that. I got artists that are way out there. Some are traditional, some are keeping the music alive, others are evolving the music. And I want to get all of that stuff and get the viewpoint from people who made the music traditionally, people who are keeping it alive right now, people who are taking it and saying, I can do what I want with this song, and does the song still hold some integrity to its origins? Like group music, songs get to live. They get to live, even when
They
you pass
do.
them along.
And then they're
So,
always reinvented.
so if you're watching this, it's Growing Up Folkways, hopefully debuting on WYSO in January. I don't understand radio. I'm taping this stuff in July,
Right. And
and I'm not going to air it till January. But hey, I'm lucky to be taping it, right? So
yes,
we're looking
yes.
forward to getting local artists here and artists from around the country. I have an artist who's actually going to fly up from Florida because he wants to. He's as interested in this as I am, and the Smithsonian has endorsed this show and they're helping me market it. And I'm just looking forward to a really good 2024 as I leave 2023. Thank you guys. The name of
Yes.
my drum group is Five Rivers Drum Ensemble. You can find us at Dayton Porch Fest, hopefully at Troy Porch Fest. We also play. What else are we playing? God, I need a. We're doing Spring Barrels, Juneteenth celebration, and a few other things. Look for us. You'll find us on Facebook, Five Rivers Drum Ensemble. Thank you.
One
That's it.
last question, if you don't
Sure.
mind. Um, like I said, because our primary gig is a recording studio, are you open to collaborating with artists of all kinds? Because I know artists are always looking for unique, creative things that may be new to them or maybe entirely new.
I'm open to everything at this point. I listened to. We played with them a few times of last year, and they have a wide range, which I
Absolutely,
really
they do.
love. My drumming it fits into anything. When I'm home by myself, I might be trying to play with Pavarotti one day and Jimi Hendrix the next, trying to look for something that feels like it can fit in. So yeah, definitely open to
Okay, so
collaborating.
what would be the best way to reach you? Would it be email? Would it be online?
Charles underscore Averett, Averett at yahoo.com. I do check my emails. You can also find me on see, I got folk songs. You can find me on on Facebook under Charlie Averett, or Charles Averett, Charlie. If you put in Charlie, Chale, it should come up as me. Otherwise, you can do Charles Averett, and you'll find me. Or you can just tag into Five Rivers Drum Ensemble, or you can go to Dayton's Drum and Sound Music Healing Program, which we do once a month on the west side of Dayton. We're trying to expand the consciousness of what alternatives there are to healing the soul to the community. Everything doesn't have to be a pill prescribed by a doctor. What ails us is often inside of us, and it's inside that we find the healing. So, yes, find me. Find me there. I'm not going to give you my phone number now, but
That's
Char-
we have to have boundaries.
yeah, we got boundaries.
Healthy
Charles underscore Averett, AVERETT@yahoo.com. Thank you guys.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
you.
your time.
I appreciate Love Locks for having us in here.
Me too.
They've got if you are a Love Locks fan, tell them that you want to hear Rastaman chant every time they perform. Trust me, they got that thing done.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for taking your time out.
Appreciate you.